Hey mamas, we know you're not sitting around at home anymore like we were earlier in the pandemic. So we're going to be changing up the show now to fit your needs. The new show name? Well, we asked and you voted for Every Mom Should Know, Knowledge Bombs for Modern Moms. We'll be transitioning to giving you shorter golden nuggets from our interviews posted on the Maui Mama Facebook page and Facebook groups. But if you prefer, you can see the whole interview on YouTube on the ChewOnThis media channel. And you can also see full interviews on Akaku Channel 54. We'll keep you posted on these changes as we adapt to this post-CoronaMama phase. Every mom should know. Knowledge bombs for modern moms. And now a preview of our main interview.
Yeah, I just sit in front of a computer for 6 hours and then I'm done with school, which really seems miserable to me. I mean, that's just not how anyone wants to live their life, no matter what they're doing. And there are so many advantages that could come from having an online learning that I feel like public schools aren't taking advantage of. There's no commute to school. You don't have to wake up early. Why are they still having early classes? It doesn't make any sense. That's just one example, but they're not using this to their advantage.
That's honest talk from a high schooler, and we have to say he has a point. So now's your chance, educators. Listen up.
If teachers could theoretically make every single student genuinely care about the subject that we were teaching, every single person would be brilliant in their own way. If you're interested in a subject, like me, I have this insatiable, if that's a good word, drive to complete something that I'm passionate about.
He's got bright ideas on how we can revamp education using technology to our advantage and more.
If you hand somebody that's never been to a library a computer before and make them choose between having all the information in this little book-sized thing and going to a building and, spending 30 minutes driving there, they'll obviously pick the computer. And I think distance learning would be a good idea for certain applications, really specific applications. I think it would be a welcome change. So I think that for these new generations, they need to tailor to kids' needs instead of trying to think for what would I want to do. They need to think, what would the new generation want to do, and how can we incorporate, their advice and their feedback and whatever.
And hey mamas, did you know about this great new outdoor farm stand and kitchen that recently opened up in Kula? What I love about it is that it's perfect for food to go or a quick bite, especially with young kids. And great during these COVID times with outdoor benches where you can eat breakfast or lunch. The produce is all locally grown right there on the biodynamic farm, and you'll also find other locally grown organic items. The Maui Bees farm stand sells locally made yummy treats, home bottled fermented foods, handmade goods, even locally baked organic sourdough bread. Yum. And of course, their own Maui Bees honey. Now, full disclosure, I have been a customer of Maui Bees for years when they offered a pick your own produce program, and the owners, Mark and Leah Damon and their son Aaron, are salt of the earth kind of people who kindly decided to support the CoronaMama show. Thanks so much, dear friends. Here's a sample of a menu that changes daily, and next week we'll introduce you to their fermented foods and its microbiome goodness. Be sure to let them know that you heard about Maui Bees from the CoronaMama show to get your 10% discount. And now for our Actions of Aloha segment. We want to recognize the Hawaii Community Foundation for bestowing a grant to the Maui's United Way. The grant helped to purchase and distribute PPE, or personal protective equipment, to Maui nonprofit organizations to keep safe and healthy from COVID-19. Maui United Way's president, Nicholas Winfrey, talked to the CoronaMama show in a past episode about their Do More Good campaign, and they ask of us to continue to live the Aloha spirit by continuing to do more good for our community. And now for our main segment with high school student Shawn Marks on the pandemic and how online school could change education for the better. Hi, Shawn. Welcome to the CoronaMama Zoom room.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
So last week we talked with your family, your whole family, and I felt like there was so much more that I wanted to hear from you because it's hard to compete when there's so many great talkers in your family.
Yeah. My name's Shawn Marks. I'm a senior at Kihei Charter High School, if you know where that is. And just finishing up some college applications and finishing up the year. It's like almost halfway through. So I'm really trying to organize what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, which is very overwhelming.
What are the things that are impacting people in your generation and age range right now?
Well, there's certainly an impact. I mean, I'd say that a lot more people are finding school a lot less engaging because you just stare at a screen and listen to people talk. There's nothing that helps with people that might learn a different way. So for example, I'm a visual learner, a hands-on learner. There's nothing that helps with that. It's only just for visual and auditory learners, and there's no projects, and there's, it's really hard. So, and there are so many advantages that could come from having an online learning that I feel like public schools aren't taking advantage of, like they don't have to, there's no commute to school. You don't have to wake up early. Why are they still having early classes? It doesn't make any sense. That's just one example, but they're not using this to their advantage.
And how would you, like, if you were to be in charge and like be able to change things, what would that be? Because the teachers and the administrators, they're scrambling to try to make it work. They know it's not working. So to hear, they actually do want to hear from real students, but I think sometimes they're afraid to ask. So here you go. Here's your opportunity.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the whole thing, is that a lot of America is real, and I mean, the whole world is really resistant to big change, because big change means lots of problems that you have to solve, and it's scary, and I get it, but it's really not doing anybody any favors to not change things for the better. Like, for example, the thing I just made, they literally made school early for teens, not because they thought it was better for their health, but because they wanted to, I think, like, 50 years ago or 100 years ago or something like that. And when they were first establishing scheduling formally for big schools, they just changed the bus schedule to save money because it was earlier to book it in the mornings. And we kept with that. And we're not changing it because we just want to do what's easiest and what's most predictable and stuff like that, which I don't think is a good way to raise anybody. I mean, you want to raise kids to be creative and think for themselves and change things so that they can improve your lifestyle. And, I don't think adults are doing a very good job of demonstrating that.
Remote learning, I don't know if it will become a thing. We're seeing that, some students do really well and others don't. My 13-year-old is like checked out,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he can't learn that way. He needs to be able to like feel his friend and like look at his friend when something inane happens and like just laugh, like that's important as far as our development goes.
I would predict that he's not an auditory or a visual learner. He's probably way more hands-on, just like me. And, if I'm sitting here listening to somebody talk for 30 minutes and I'm not participating in the conversation, which isn't possible when you have 30 kids in a class, I'm not going to be engaged. It's just not fun. So, and there's really nothing that teachers can do about it. Honestly, I'd say that with the changes, teachers are doing a really good job of adapting, and they're really having to take a lot of responsibility. So the education system might want to move towards more distance learning and online learning, because I'm taking college classes on Oahu right now. And last year, that may have not been possible. And for kids like me who not really engaged with class time and conversations with teachers and stuff like that, it's easier to have a type of class where they give you your work for the week and they leave you alone. And I'm taking all of my classes right now are like that, because I intentionally was like, if I'm going to have a meeting 2 times a week for an hour, I am going to learn nothing in that meeting. It's not going to be engaging. It's not going to be helpful. So I think that that would be a really good thing to incorporate more. I mean, like if you don't have a class in your island or in your state or something like that, just take it in another place. We have these technologies so that we can talk to people from far away.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think maybe combining a lot of modern technologies would be a good idea.
Join us tomorrow for more golden nuggets from Shawn Marks on reinventing education.